I have the best position and terrain advantage on the map for a solo Stego to use. You can pretty much take on any fight at Big Quill Lake or the Salt Flats, and even if you get outnumbered or outgunned, you get yourself to this cave, hold the cave entrance, and you can pretty much survive anything. So outside here there are 2 Rexes, 3 Dasps and a Meg. Now I think it was 2 individual groups, the 2 Rexes together and the 3 Dasp together. And I kinda whooped them out on the Salt Flats in like individual fights with each group. So they all joined forces to try and take me down, but even with all the numbers and the firepower they have, they can't touch me whilst I'm holding this cave entrance. Quite a few other big things can squeeze their way in here too. Like, for me to be able to get in, you have to crouch and then like squeeze your way into the right hand side, and you just manage to get in. I have seen Rexes get in here before. I haven't done it myself, but I've seen other players do it. But even still, they couldn't afford to sit there and get smacked in the face by a Stego tail trying to squeeze their way in. Then anything small enough to just run through, you can manage a lot easier in a confined space like this. Anyway, let's get into it and I will show you how I got myself into this predicament. And towards the end, there's 1 or 2 more fights using the cave to my advantage. And also, there's a really interesting feature about the entrance of the cave, which I will tell you about and show you towards the end. Now, it all started, there was 2 Rexes that chased me out of the Salt Flats and I ran straight up this ramp to my cave. A little bit later I came back over, the Rexes were still here, and this time they sent 1 around to cut me off and 1 came straight towards me. So instead of running into their trap, I figured I'd try and fight 1 of them whilst they were split up and see what I could do. When I saw the second one on its way back over, I figured I'd try and disengage and get myself away before he got here, because yeah, I don't think I can fight 2 at once, especially with next to no stam. But one of them was pretty busted up after that, and he'll have been bleeding a lot, so luckily they didn't chase me down. After coming back over, I didn't see the 2 Rexes, but there were 3 Dasp here, so I figured I'd see how I'd do against them. the 3 Dasp backed away to go heal up. And on my way back to Big Quill, I bumped into the 2 Rexes again. Here, to begin with, I wasn't sure if they was going to start fighting each other, to be honest. But if they wasn't already together, I think it was at this point they all decided to join forces and try and take me down as one big group. here it just really goes to show how well this position works for the Stego. I mean, other things could use it too, like the Alberta can fit in here, the Anki, but the sheer amount of damage and bleed the Stego tail does, it's just absolutely perfect to hold the entrance with. Even if they went to swap on smaller stuff now to try and get me out, it really would take quite something to get inside here and kill me without getting killed themselves. But there is one more really interesting feature about the cave, which I will show perfectly in the next clip. I have been playing the Stego on and off for about a week now, and I've got loads of really good clips. I got a bunch of like 1v1 style fights and similar things to that without using the cave. So stick around for that, hit that like and subscribe button, because I should be getting another video with those other fights in it, maybe posted later on in the week. And I really appreciate the support from you guys. Every like, every comment goes a really long way. And if anyone's feeling really generous, there is a new thingamajig on YouTube where you can hype small creators' videos. So that would be really cool. I really appreciate it if anyone fancied hyping it. This just about wraps it up for this particular fight. They're not going to be able to get in, even if they knew how, to get me without taking too much damage, and I'm not going to go out there and try and fight them when there's that many of them. So it becomes a bit of a stalemate. Right, next up here, I take on a fight with this Titan, and he's pretty good. He does a lot of damage to me and has me running to my cave, but I also do a lot of damage to him and he backs off. But it leaves me in a very sticky situation when something else shows up, but luckily I'm near the cave, and that then goes to show the very interesting thing about the entrance of that cave, and that is it's very difficult to get in, but for some reason it's very easy to get out. You can just sprint straight out of it. And if a player doesn't know that, you can really catch them off guard, and I'll let you see what happens. Well, one last quick one. Just showing, using the cave again. Using the cave entrance to get a couple extra hits in, so then I can go out and take the fight on, have it a little bit easier because I've already softened them up. I did try the Stego when I first grew it, and I didn't really like it because although it's one of the highest damage dealers in the game, I just find it really under-equipped in terms of abilities. And yeah, a really skilled player could kill most Stegos with taking minimal hits just by baiting the tail, and you know, it's got paw stam, it's got paw speed. I just find it really under-equipped on pretty much everything apart from its massive damage. But using this cave and having a terrain advantage, actually I've really enjoyed playing the Stego for the last week. Even solo, it completely changed the game and made it a lot of fun. I hope you enjoyed. I had a lot of fun making this one, and like I said, I've got another PvP Stego video on the way. So thanks for watching, stay tuned, and I'll catch you in the next one.